Hello, I am indeed still wearing the same outfit that I was wearing yesterday because it is actually yesterday. The only way I'm gonna get close to pulling this off is if I try to figure out a little bit of batching. So that's what we're doing right now. I did receive one request for a thing to talk about this month. Thank you to my lovely, beautiful friend Caitlin, who says, I would love a video about your favorite women's soccer anything, gossip, players, drama, games, etc. I'm gonna run with the non-specific nature of the prompt and just sort of yap about women's soccer. Obligatory disclaimer before we begin, in case by some bizarre curse of the algorithm, this video actually finds like a women's soccer fan who doesn't already like know me. I'm expecting none of these videos to be seen by more than 100 people, but I don't know, man, just in case. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything. I moved to Kansas City a year ago and these people fucking love sports. This town loves sports. And I was not going to become a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I am already a Cubs fan, you know, Royals team fine, I guess. But like I needed a sports fandom to live here. And last season also happened to be the inaugural season of the world's first professional sports stadium built explicitly for a women's sports team across any sport, period, which is pretty fucking dope. It was also like a great time to check into the team because apparently they were not very good before last year, but then, or I guess last year, 2024 is what I mean when I say last year. I keep forgetting we're in a new year, whatever. So anyway, 2024 was like the first year that they were like getting good. And then last year they were genuinely amazing. They won the Shield, and then, you know, the wheels kind of fell off in the playoffs, but they had a fantastic regular season, which I guess brings me to my first little bit of like lore-ish, which is that there's a little bit of a rivalry between the Kansas City Current and the Orlando Pride, who I think were both like nothing teams prior to 2024. I like actually genuinely welcome a fact check if I'm wrong about that. But I think that like 2024 was both teams' big, like rah, we're here now season. The first game that I actually went to was the game when the Orlando Pride came to Kansas City and we were 1-2, like Kansas City was number 1 and Orlando was number 2, and then Orlando won and like flipped that. Both teams were having these like surprise runaway seasons and they were really good. And I think the origin of the rivalry is actually that game. My understanding of Kansas City's beef with Orlando is mostly about Marta, which is actually crazy to me. Like, respectfully to my peers, my brethren, whatever, my fellow Current fans, I just, like, your contempt for Marta is actually bonkers to me. We're a loud, rambunctious stadium. I think we have kind of a reputation for talking a lot of shit. And like Marta, after, you know, being in this stadium, she's like, they're the away team. People are chanting, whatever. And then they won. She like sort of taunted the fans. There's like a Casey baby chant that we do. And she did this like rocking the baby thing back at the fans. And like, respectfully, if we're going to talk shit, we got to be able to take it. I just like that to me is, I don't know. I actually feel like part of what's going on is that Orlando and Kansas City are really similar teams. It's a little bit of like, you're too much like me and I can't fucking stand you for it. I completely welcome pushback on that theory if anybody disagrees. My one real criticism about Orlando is that I do think that they are one of the floppier teams in the league, and that's mostly just because they have more Brazilian players. So my actual hot take is that like the Brazilian women's national team is extremely floppy. By floppy, I mean that they like fall down over anything. I rarely watch men's soccer. Like, I don't give a shit about men's soccer. Why would a man be there is kind of how I feel about soccer. But like the handful of times that I have watched it, I am baffled by how easily like they will go down and like, you know, make a big dramatic show of being injured, because that does not happen in women's soccer, in my experience of women's soccer. With a very specific asterisk for the Brazilians. I don't know. Maybe I'm venturing into like weirdly xenophobic territory here. National sports kind of have that flavor to them. Weird tangent aside, I actually really do like the Orlando Pride. I was genuinely rooting for them in the 2024 championship, which I got to go see here in Kansas City. I actually made a little TikTok video about this, but the craziest thing about that experience is that because of Kansas City's beef with Orlando, most of the stadium was rooting for the Spirit. Like, it was functionally like a home game for the Spirit and a away game for the Pride. I did learn some fun Orlando Pride chants. My favorite is that their goalkeeper's name is Anna Morehouse, and so whenever she did something good or impressive, they will chant, "Whose house Morehouse, whose house Morehouse," and I really enjoyed that one. Anyway, so I'm at this game in my full like Kansas City Current gear. I bought tickets for my brother and his family because my nieces both play soccer, and it was very, very cool. It was so fun getting to watch this game with my niece sitting next to me. She was like catching things that I wasn't catching, and I don't know, she's just so smart and cool and awesome, and like the whole thing was a blast. I decided going into this game that I was going to root for the Pride because the Pride are the team that took us out. And my feeling was, I don't want to lose to losers. If this is the team that stood in our way, if this was the roadblock, if this was the moment of you shall not pass, then nobody should pass. And on that note, the team that took us out in 2024 was the Pride, and the team that took us out in 2025 was Gotham, and both of those teams went on to win the whole thing. So, do with that information what you will. Anyway, for that reason, plus I just actually genuinely really love Marta, I was rooting for the Pride. And some lady in my row got up to go to the bathroom, and on her way out, she stopped to correct me, to tell me that actually we, Kansas City Current fans, are rooting for the Spirit. And let me tell you what that did to me. It did not do to me what she was hoping it would do to me. What it in fact made me do was double down. Let's go Orlando Pride. I wanted to go downstairs and see if I could buy some fucking purple merch. I'm all in. I'm their #1 fan now. Anyway, they won and that was cool. This was the 2024 championship. I have fully lost the plot here. Oh, I was talking about the beef between the Kansas City Current and the Orlando Pride, and how it I think it originates, at least for Kansas City, in that game that I was at. And the other thing, in addition to Marta taunting the fans, she also kicked a water bottle. And I have seen people say online that she kicked it at the Current players. That to me feels nonsensical. She was mad, and so she kicked a water bottle. It is not that fucking deep. My other kind of hot take, I don't know, lukewarm take maybe, is that I really hate the introduction of respectability discussions in the women's sports space, mostly because it comes up in ways that people never ever bring to the table in men's sports spaces. I just don't think anybody would think twice about a man kicking a water bottle on the sidelines because he's mad about a call. That is so fucking nothing. I also see it sometimes in sort of policing the fans a little bit. There's a lot of be polite, because there are a higher than average volume of little girls in the stands at these soccer games. I get it. There are little girls all around me and you want to be respectful and mindful of that fact. But also there are professional athletes on that fucking field. And there is something, I don't know, degrading or insulting in the implication that this experience should be tailored towards children. It can both be true that it is really cool and beautiful and magical that these little girls have this, that they can be there, they can be in this professional sports environment and see something to aspire to. I love that. That's amazing. And also, I just feel like we should give them the respect of not treating this like it's exclusively for children in a way that we would never treat a baseball game or a football game or any other men's sporting event. Anyway, I actually could probably do a whole month of this. I could I could sit and yap about this every day. Thank you again to Caitlin for suggesting this in the first place. Okay, bye.